Welcome to FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast series. Here we talk about all things franchising. What is it all about? Is it for you? How do you find the best one to own? And so much more. Now your host, Tim Parmeter.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast series. I am Tim Parmeter, founder and CEO of FranCoach and your podcast host. Today, we have another guest in-house to speak with us about an incredibly, really, I don't know how to better say this, super cool and emerging concept in the franchising space. So we definitely want to we're going to get him on right now. And joining us is the Director of Franchise Development for Perspire Sauna, Mr. Cory Lyons. Cory, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Tim. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, we are definitely excited to talk to you. Want to learn about Perspire Sauna and hear all those great things. And we've got a bunch of questions for you, so I hope you're prepared for that. But start with, always like to just get a chance to know people a little bit more, and in particular, kind of their journey into the franchising space. So if you don't mind, give us the Reader's Digest version of Cory and kind of your journey here.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. I was in franchising even before I knew I was in franchising. When I was in the restaurant industry working for Applebee's corporate out of Overland Park, Kansas, I considered myself in the restaurant industry, but I was supporting franchisees with field-based support. And then I moved. I was with them for about 7 years, and I moved to the fitness sector of franchising with Snap Fitness and Lift brands. When I ultimately left that organization after 12 years, I was the longest tenured executive on the leadership team, and I've just celebrated my 1-year anniversary here at Perspire Sauna Studio.
Nice. Awesome. So again, so you've been around this for a while, and a couple kind of the more common sectors a little bit when people think about franchising, right? But tell us a little bit about, we all probably get fitness. We certainly get Applebee's, and we know that we're fancy like when we go there these days, right? But Perspire Sauna, what the heck is a Perspire Sauna? Give us if I'm a consumer, who's going in there and what's going on when you're there?
Yeah, so that's one great thing about Perspire Sauna Studio is that we are for everybody. From the aging retiree to the young professional to the stay-at-home parent, everybody wants to feel better, and that's exactly what our product does. It makes people feel better, utilizing decades or centuries old desires to heat your core body temperature, and we do that with modern technology through infrared saunas. Now, as far as what the actual product is, it's high intensity red light therapy integrated into our fully custom commercial infrared saunas, ensuring that all of our guests leave our studios feeling better than when they arrived.
Okay, which I think maybe I'm going to date myself, because when I hear the word sauna, I think of like the old brown room and some cheesy fitness thing, right, where you pour the water on the coals. I don't know if those still exist. I'm like maybe a little old, but this is definitely not that, correct?
Definitely not that. Yeah. So you're speaking of a traditional sauna, right? And traditional saunas, they're essentially rooms filled with hot air that you enter and you sweat and you help detox. Infrared saunas, it's going to be a hotter room, no questions about it. But the infrared technology, infrared is actually light that we feel as heat, and it penetrates our skin and heals you on the cellular level, and ultimately raises your core body temperature 3 degrees and creates a false fever. And that's where all the benefits kick in, is when your body temperature is rising.
Really? Okay. And so how, from a consumer perspective, how often do people come in? How often is it okay to come in?
Yeah, so we have membership packages that are unlimited, that you can come in 30 times a month as well. Infrared sauna use and the benefits are very similar to fitness. The more you use it, the better the benefits you're going to see. So our membership packages, are once a week, twice a week, as well as unlimited.
Okay. Very, very cool. What's I think a lot of things out there, and certainly fitness and food. True, you've been a promoter, but a lot of others where people are like, oh my gosh, there's so much competition. Not so much with this, right? Is this a little bit, because this from the infrared perspective is a little bit newer than certainly a cheeseburger or just going into the gym to work out. How much time are your owners really spending kind of, I guess, kind of creating the awareness for what this is? I guess that's got to be a big piece of it, right?
Yeah, creating awareness on a local level is huge, and we start that well before the studios are even built out. And ultimately just allowing the consumers to learn what infrared technology is. As we sit today, about a third of the population knows what an infrared sauna is. So there's a lot of blue sky out there to really help educate. As we sit this very moment, we don't have a national competition either. So we are the original. We opened our first studio back in 2010. We're the largest and fastest growing. So it's a great opportunity for us.
So I think there's two words when we've got clients that are start looking at franchises that come up a lot. They sound negative, but it's like concerns and challenges, right? Like, oh, I have a concern about this. Really, they just need more information. Or boy, that seems challenging. But challenging can be a good thing. And something like this is maybe it's challenging to be the 417th cheeseburger place in a market, right? The challenge here could really be a positive, to have an opportunity to really bring something new. And I'm stunned that a third of the people know about infrared sauna, right? And I'll be the first to admit I didn't know about it until, I don't know, a few months ago, right? When we kind of started really working together. And so that challenge to be able to go out and bring something new and exciting into a community, I got to think that's got to be something that really is going to appeal to an owner that's going to look at Perspire, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always advantageous to be first to market with something, right? And that allows all of our franchisees to do that. All of our franchisees are first to market and really taking the best real estate out there, as well as the best territory. So it's very advantageous. A challenging component would be to continually educate the community and get those percentages to 32%, 40%, and things like that as well. But that's one great thing about our product is once somebody uses our product, they're going to go tell 10 of their friends how great it was. And a lot of our franchisees used to be members of ours, and they moved throughout the country and opened up Perspire Sauna Studios in their new hometown. So that's really exciting. That the brand being emerging, we do have quite the cult following, no questions about it.
Well, and you know this, we've a client of ours was just visited one of your studios here recently, and he had talked about having knee surgery not too long ago, and he'd made the comment, he's like, I haven't felt this good since after my surgery, right? And and he was pretty darn skeptical about like what this was, right? And just like immediately he felt better, and that was just from one time, right? So that I can easily see where you get that cult following from this, which is again creating that education piece goes quickly when you as the owner don't have to convince people. Your members, your customers are out there spreading the word for you.
Yeah, right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no questions about that. We have one of the few wellness modalities out there that will actually make you feel good during the session as well as after the session as well. Because there's some of them out there that don't feel good while you're doing it. But yeah, so we've got that unique trait as well.
Yeah, as I was on the treadmill last night, trying to kind of keep plugging away, thinking I'm about to die, right? That was not a good feeling. I know in the long term, it's better for me to do it, right? But so no, with you on that. What about the owner, right? What are maybe kind of some things that you look for, or what is there really kind of you need them to be doing day in, day out as a typical owner for you?
Yeah, absolutely. We obviously want our franchisees to be wellness minded. We want our franchisees to care about others. We do help people every single day. That's one thing our franchisees talk about is, that they knew our members were going to come tell us about why our business is so important to them. They didn't know at what scale. And right. Those warm fuzzies really go a long way. So really care about, and genuinely care about helping other people is big. We don't require our franchisees to work in the business, but if they're not working in the business, they definitely have to be working on the business and managing and leading their teams. We have a very scalable business model at multi-unit franchising is very, very possible. The vast majority of our franchisees are multi-unit franchisees as well, working on the business versus in the business and ultimately managing their team. Franchisees choose to have a franchisor, and that choice is because they're choosing to get support. And that's where our operations and our education, our marketing team really come into play and really support our franchisees with every single step of their business.
Well, and I wanted to touch on that, right? Because again, you guys are, certainly more in the emerging scale. And I probably should have looked before we got on here. How many locations do you guys have open right now?
We have 22. We have 22 open right now, and we just awarded our 92nd franchise.
Nice. That's awesome. And so sometimes there's the feel of like, oh, well, they're new. Do they really know what they're doing? Right. And then I always kind of like roll my eyes like, yes, they do. It's not their first, kind of, especially for somebody with you. And I know your whole team, very experienced in franchising. Talk about some of those areas in which, as the franchisor, you're going to really be there to help support the franchisee as they're getting started and really even then once they're up and running.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one big thing about, once, we award a franchise is to really, enable the franchisee to get the brand out in their community. Again, more often than not, they're being first to market. So we'll utilize our internal team as well as our vendors for all of the real estate and essentially hold the franchisee's hand throughout the entire real estate process, identifying sites, negotiating sites with them, as well as getting to lease. And then, once the build out takes place, we have our vendors that are going to handle all the build out, because we don't want our franchisees to worry about the people swinging hammers. We're going to utilize our vendors to handle that so they can just ultimately promote their brand. And by doing so, what we've done is we've created a very impressive pre-sale program where we will ensure that all of our locations open with at least 100 memberships by day one to really ramp up that business as quick as possible. In business, ramping up is key, and we really focus a lot on that ramp up and getting to that that magical break even and profitability point.
Yeah, awesome. And it's just, I think it always is overwhelming to hear, even for me after all these years. Like I don't know, overwhelming for me is the right word, but reassuring. And I know when people hear that the first time, like, how many people, okay, raise your hand, everybody out there who has negotiated a commercial lease on their own, right? So, or tenant improvements or build out or getting the contractors, like that's not stuff people could really do successfully by themselves, let alone all the marketing pieces and everything from that perspective. So great to, and again, I think that's a myth sometimes, like, oh, it's an emerging brand, so they're not going to have all those things. Everything is in place. And as you mentioned, like in most cases, you're coming in first to market or pretty darn close to it. So you're not getting the 19th best like territory in whatever market. You're getting the prime locations and really kind of pick of those things, which is also, yes, you gotta educate the community, but there's no like, B, C, D, E, F locations from a real estate standpoint. You're getting the high level stuff. So that's very cool.
Yeah. We go after only real estate. Yeah, absolutely.
So we talked a little bit about the owner. What's the staffing model look like for Perspire Studio?
Yeah. So, it's a very labor light business model, and that's really attractive to entrepreneurs today. The secret is our saunas do the work for us, right? They provide the service. So, we have a full staff is going to be between 5 and 7 people. And that's really going to depend on, full-timers or part-timers, that are in the studio, having a full-time manager with, additional staff. Many of our studios will have 1 person working during the day and 2 people working at night. So again, very, very labor light. and fully automated wellness. So, the staff, we also look for people who care about others, right? And want to get to know on a personal level and genuinely care about, ensuring that somebody's, feeling better leaving than when they arrived.
Right. And for anybody that might be wondering, like the old COVID stuff, right? From this, when as a customer, if I come in and I'm going to have my session, right? I'm not sitting in there, like, it's also not the old, like, the old style, like steam room or something where I got 14 other people in there, right? You've got, like, again, kind of private areas and really almost kind of some different personalized and different kind of, I don't know what's the right word here, kind of treatments or different, I was going to say themes, but that's totally not the right thing, but very private type of settings for people when they're coming in there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You get your own private sanctuary to be able to relax and decompress and release your stress and such. Ultimately, every single private suite is made for the individual person. So we want to be able to have all the preset temperatures and light colors and such to that member's preferences, as well as streaming video options as well. We have a lot of streaming video options in those own private suites to be able to give you a private viewing experience of your favorite show as well. So it's really your time. It's me time. When you enter a Perspire Sauna Studio and get into your private suite, it's all about you. Be able to sit back, relax, take your 40-minute session and release a lot of stress.
Nice. So instead of Netflix and chill, we're going to Netflix and sweat basically when we're sitting there, right? So very, very, very cool. So we got a light labor model, which is fantastic. Again, that private situation I think is fantastic. One, if anybody's still, kind of the lingering effects of COVID from that perspective. But again, just like as I hear that as somebody sitting here going, man, I could use that right this second, right? How do can I get one of those in my house would be outstanding for that. So super cool. And we've got tons of space around the country where we can grow and expand, multi-unit opportunities. What are we missing, man? What else for somebody kind of listening today about Perspire that you would want to make sure that, hey, we definitely want you to understand this about our brand and our opportunity?
Yeah. So, one component about, our brand, and we've only touched on the infrared component of our brand, but we also utilize, high intensity red light therapy as well to really provide, skin elasticity, skin clarity, energy. Men, we get a bonus and increases testosterone as well. So that's in every single one of our infrared saunas. It's fully integrated. So you're actually getting two wellness modalities in one, and ultimately those benefits are second to none. There are a lot of opportunities. As I mentioned to you in the past, Tim, business is a lot of fun when you have wind at your back. And Perspire Sauna Studio, we've got a great tailwind, and the future looks very, very bright for us.
Yeah, that's it. And I think just from a perspective of the wellness, you get a little sweat in there, and really all you had to do is sit there. It's not a bad not a bad way to leave feeling much better about yourself. So this is awesome, man. Cory, I'm glad we were able to connect. I know you're super busy, so I want to be respectful of your time, and thanks for joining us today to talk about Perspire. So thank you so much for doing so.
I appreciate the opportunity, Tim. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. And as always, thanks to all of our loyal podcast listeners for clicking and joining us today. If you'd like to learn more about Perspire or any of the 500 plus franchises we're partnered with, FranCoach.net, send us a message, reach out. Let's get that first call scheduled. You've been listening to 20 minutes of a podcast about franchising. You know you're interested. Let's talk. There's never any fee for our service. So let's help you create your better tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast, where our ultimate goal is to help educate you on all things franchising so you can create your better tomorrow.